living in Barsana Dham. I think he's facing some problem with signal. Okay, let us start, and if Mara joins, you can get him in this Zoom. Otherwise, we will try it in different options. Um, Yesterday, we saw that uh, what is the importance of Yagna, why we had to learn Yagna. Just an introduction, just I didn't give much details, but today onwards, we are full-fledged. We'll be having this Yagya course. Actually, we hope and pray that this a small attempt, please, Srila Prabhupada and Guru Parampara, and it can finally benefit all of us and all the community in Vaishnava community in general. I request Haldir Nitai Prabhu. He is from ISKCON Mayapur Gurukul, and he learned personally from many stalwart devotees, and especially from Prithivardhan Maharaj also. And I request Alder Nitai Prabhu to share his wisdom and introduction about Maharaj.
Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. Is my voice audible clearly?
yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so as Prabhu said, this course is all about teaching us the yagya related to the samskaras and the yagyas we do for the pleasure of the Lord. So you might have been told that these few days, what we are having online classes, there you'll be given introduction of what we are going to do. Basically, what is the purpose of yagya and what are the various ingredients, what is the culture of, doing yagya, who's the yajaman and what kind of mandapas. It's all the practical aspect of the yagya. Actually, we are supposed to have His Holiness Bhakti Arja Prithivardhan Swami Maharaj and also His Grace Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu with us. His Grace Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu is little busy with the festival Adivas for Radhastami. He'll join just after maybe 20-25 minutes like that. So I'll meanwhile give the background of how we started this course. Mainly, before this course was taught only in the Gurukul. Traditionally, that's how it is taught for those who come. They take Upanayana in the Gurukula. They are being taught. But when this whole Tivovi temple is coming up, then Brajavilas Prabhu has desired that we do very nice ceremony for the Lord to invite him into his new place in the big temple. So then he asked us that can we arrange for it. Then Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu has suggested that we train devotees for doing this yagya very well with all the proper knowledge according to the system given by our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas. So that's how it's a small beginning, and with inspiration of Rajavilas Prabhu, His Grace Subhekshna Prabhu, who is also the co-director here, and Bhakti Arja Prithivardhan Maharaj, who is our Gurukul's head and inspiration. So we started teaching this course in Mayapur. Now with blessings of His Grace Gauranga Prabhu and with enthusiasm of Shivananda Shyam Prabhu, this is the first time we are going out of Mayapur to teach this course to all of you here. So right now, what I will do is before uh, Maharaj or Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu joins, then we will start with the introduction of the course. Is everybody able to see the screen now?
So you can make it a full screen.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, thank you.
So the first session, what we are going to go through today is what is the purpose of yajna. Now, as it is very important, before we get into the details of what actually things we are doing, we should know what is the purpose or what is the goal of learning something. Then, if we know that, then there is inspiration and the mind is fixed on the activity what we are doing. So, in this class, we will see from our acharyas them explaining what is the purpose of the yajna. In the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, as we have seen, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came, during his pastimes, he emphasized on chanting the holy name and spreading the holy name by preaching. But then with the six Goswamis, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave them specific instruction of staying in the holy place, writing books, exploring the holy places and establishing them, and establishing also the worship of the deities there. Yes. So after that, though in our sampradaya the yajnas are being done, not much emphasis, or we see exclusively not many books or emphasis was given. But today we'll see how at different times our acharyas have mentioned and desired that why these yajnas have to be done and what is the mood we have to follow them. Okay, so let's go ahead. First thing is Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami. As you all know, Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami is one of the six Goswamis, and he is the son of the head of Sri Sampradaya at the time. And then when he joined Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, his main service was to assist Srila Sanatana Goswami in editing and compiling the Hari Bhakti Vilas. He is the one who assisted Srila Sanatana Goswami. And then after that, he wrote a book called Satkriya Saradipika, which mentions the 10 main samskaras. So this book is the key book for all of us for on the paddhati of how the yajna is done, because he is the one who compiled all the paddhati which is from the Vedic literature. Especially in the Vedic literature, the Veda has four aspects. The first is called Samhita, which are generally read by brahmacharis. And the second ones are called Brahmanas, which contains the details of how the rituals are done. That is where grihasthas are involved in expressing the knowledge learned through the rituals. And all the paddhatis for yajna come from the Brahmanas. So our Acharya took that particular aspect from the Veda, which is very much in line with the mood of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, and compiled it in the form of Satkriya Saradipika. So whatever we are going to teach in this course is from this book. So this book is our guideline. Now, he himself mentions what is the purpose of writing this book and what is the purpose of this performing the samskaras in the introduction to the book. Anybody can read this? It will be nice. Prabhus? Anybody? Or- Yes, Prabhu, please. Sure. Is it possible to devotees to unmute or not?
Yes, bro, it's unmuted
Yes.
now. So,
Okay. Please.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Srila Gopalabhatta Goswami explains the purpose of writing the book Satkriya Saradipika in his introductory verse as follows: offering obeisances to Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss, who is worshipped by the whole world, who is the supreme Lord and controller of the universe, who is situated in supreme bliss, and who is the bestower of the desired goal to the unalloyed devotees. I, Gopala Bhatta, having received the order from saintly exalted devotees, present a manual on Vedic samskaras called Satkriya Saradipika, essential practices for uplifting the soul. For the householder devotees, especially the unalloyed devotees, to preserve the principles of the highest religion, the devotional service based on the Vedic principles. Hare Krishna.
Sorry. It's very clear the purpose of the yagyas for us is to preserve the principles of highest religion. Now, to preserve the Bhagavad Dharma. That is the purpose of learning yagya or doing the samskaras for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And this is mentioned none other than by the author himself who gave these principles to us. Yeah. So then from that it is very evident that the mood of performing this activity is different from how it is performed by the general Hindus, which is predominating by the karma kandis, means the people who do it for getting some materialistic results. So here itself, there is a huge difference between how the Vaishnavas do and why the Vaishnavas do these rituals than the other people. Yes? And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, see the history goes after Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami has written this book, and eventually, after Srinivasa Acharya and Narottam Das Thakur, there was, big upheaval in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Then Bhakti Vinod Thakur is the one who revived. So Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he himself mentioned about Satkriya Saradipika book, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur personally saw to it that this book is published again in Bengali language. And now we'll see. And then he wrote this note on the Satkriya Saradipika when he mentioned about publishing this book to his disciples. Yes, Prabhu, can somebody please read quickly?
According to the instructions of Sriman Mahaprabhu, Srila Sanatan Goswami Prabhu compiled a Vaishnava Smriti called the Haribhakti Vilas, which was published by Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami Prabhu. Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami also wrote a book on the 10 samskaras, which is known as Satkriya Saradipika, and a manual called Samsara Deepika, which is a book on the rules for taking sannyas.
Yes, bro, please continue.
Almost half a century after the Haribhakti Vilas was published, the non-Vaishnava Smriti compiler Raghunandan Bhattacharya Mahashay wrote a work called Ashtavimshati Tattva. Before that, the Paddhati of Bhavadeva and the Satkriya Saradipika were the most famous books on samskaras in Bengal. The various manuals on the Smarta rituals never became well spread among the general public. Due to the strong influence of the Smartas, Satkriya Saradipika also lost its prominence. We might hear of the Narsimha Paricharya of Sri Krishnadevaraya, Devacharya and Smriti Nibandha of Sri Keshav Bhatta were also later published. Also, the other non-Vaishnava Paddhati, Nirnaya Paddhati of Kamalakara Bhatta was compiled.
Yes,
We can
Prabhu, please.
observe from the writings of the Smartha Bhattacharyas that there are certain differences of opinions between Vaishnava Smriti and non-Vaishnava Smriti. In other words, between the Smartha Smriti Paddhatis and the Sri Haribhakta Vilas of the Vaishnavas, there were many obstacles in the preaching of the Vaishnava Smriti due to the popularity of the non-Vaishnava Smritis. The Vaishnava and non-Vaishnava Paddhatis differ in many places regarding polytheistic demigod worship, Shraddhas, Ekadashi Vratas, etc. Also, due to a lack of genuine Vaishnava Grahasthas, for some time the Smartha ceremonies were accepted as Vaishnava.
So the main reason why I'm like put up there all this what he wrote as it is because even now in ISKCON, many of us don't know the details of what is the history behind our samskaras in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, and hardly any of us are even aware to how to be done and whether we should do or not, all these kind of details. But here we see our acharyas themselves, like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he mentions all the history behind it. Who is the person later and how it got like lost, and then and he made a very important point towards the end that due to the lack of genuine Vaishnava Grihasthas, then the Smartha ceremonies were accepted as Vaishnava. And it is very evident that our Acharya wants that this needs to be practiced among our devotees. And then he tells towards them. Can Prabhu continue, please?
Non-Vaishnava rituals are not accepted as bona fide by the Vaishnava world. And since this has been logically proven with Shastric evidence, these sense enjoyers who are inimical to pure devotional service find this fact unpalatable. Therefore, they have endeavored to stop the publication of the books containing Vaishnava rituals and etiquette. However, there is no doubt that the futile hopes and desires of the non-Vaishnava will be uprooted by the republication of this book. Those whose hearts feel pain as if pierced by a lance by the spreading of Vaishnava Smriti will not be able to appreciate topics of devotional service. Nonetheless, the customs of the society of pure Vaishnava, being like the pole star, will shine forth brightly even in the darkness of the new moon.
So it's very clear that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has desires that this has to be taught and widespread among the devotees. And then he thanks later towards the end that all those devotees, all his disciples who published this book, like you see here about this Sri Yukta Avidyaharana Dasadikari Seva Bandhava Mahashay Mahopadesha Pandita and others. So hope then you got the background of how this book was not famous among the Gaudiyas for some time because of the Smartha Paddhatis taking over. And Acharya mentions it's not only our Sampradaya had this, it has permeated in almost all Sampradayas, some less and some more. So that's the reason then when we are learning back, then here he gives first 40-50 pages in Satkriya Saradipika just explaining the philosophy of performing all these rituals. Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami. And now if you go to the, we have so many Apasampradayas that came up later, and many of them claim that this book Gopala is not written by Gopala Bhatta Goswami, and so-called scholars make all these, contradictory viewpoints. But apart from, being directly authorized by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Prabhupada also, he told in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam he mentions, and Chaitanya Charitamrita he mentions. Apart from that, if you see the philosophical points that are made by Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami, it's exactly the same points which Srila Jiva Goswami makes in Krishna Sandarbha. So that is like, solid proof, and removes all the contradiction that, oh, this is not not written by our Acharya like that. Okay. I will see if Maharaj wrote a message that he'll try to attend. But meanwhile, we'll go ahead with now. Srila Prabhupada explained why we need Pancharatra Vidhi also, along with, though, our movement is predominantly Bhagavati Vidhi, as you all know, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, out of the 9 processes of devotional service, the most important is chanting the holy name. And then, and if chanting the holy name can take backwards to God, back to Godhead, then why we require all this puja, yagya, and doing deity worship, other things? Yes, this doubt, either many of you might have already heard, or it is always there around in the air with for most of us. Yes. But we all see Srila Prabhupada himself established deity worship in ISKCON. And the first deities are Lord Radha Landaneshwar, then many other temples. I opened 108 temples in ISKCON. And then we see that Srila Prabhupada writes in this purport of Chaitanya Charitamrita, where he quotes Srila Jiva Goswami, why we have Pancharatrika Vidhi also to be followed, if Bhagavad Vidhi is sufficient for us to take back to Godhead. So, in his Bhakti Sandarbha, Anucheda 283-284, Srila Jiva Goswami describes the importance of deity worship and initiation, Diksha, as follows. It is the Srimad Bhagavatam's opinion that the process of deity worship is not necessary. It's not actually necessary, just as the specific prescriptions of the Pancharatra and other scriptures do not have to be followed. The Bhagavatam enjoins that even without practicing deity worship, one can achieve the complete success of human life by any other devotional processes, such as simply offering oneself at the Lord's feet for his protection. Nonetheless, Vaishnavas following the path of Sri Narada and his successors endeavor to establish a personal relationship with the Lord by receiving the grace of bona fide spiritual master. Yeah. So, through initiation. And this tradition, and in this tradition, the devotees are obliged at the time of initiation to begin engaging in deity worship. So we all have been all the devotees here in this assembly are initiated, and they got Brahman initiation also. So you all know that we have gone through this process of initiation. And why exactly we have gone? Because that's the tradition which Srila Narada Muni has given to us, and all the acharyas in our line follow. As Srila Prabhupada was mentioning that even one of the 9 processes of devotional service anybody follows properly, he'll go back to Godhead. But in our line, especially emphasis was given after Srila Jiva Goswami established a proper paddhati for deity worship, and later on all the other acharyas exemplified it. And why is it given? It's mentioned more Srila Prabhupada writes. Although deity worship is not essential, The material conditioning of most candidates for devotional service require they engage in this activity. When we consider their bodily and mental conditions, we find that the character of such candidates is impure and their minds are agitated. Therefore, to rectify this material conditioning, the great sage Narada and others have at different times recommended various kind of regulations for deity worship. So, hope this point is very clear to all of us that holy name can take us back to Godhead. But engaging in the process of Pancharatra quickens that process. It helps us to remove our anarthas quickly. It helps us to give up our misidentification with the body. Just like Prabhupada gives this example. When you want to get rid of the disease, first there is prescription and there is proscription. Prescription is you take the medicine. Proscription is you have to not do certain things. Now, what you should not do, the Bhagavad principles and all don't even mention. It says always chant the holy name. But what you should not do is all these rules that comes in the Pancharatric principles, that you should be clean, you can't be unclean, you should not forget Krishna, you should do only certain way the worship, all the details that come. Yes, anybody has any queries in this? Chaitanya Mishra is here, Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu. We request His Grace Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, we welcome Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu to our forum. Actually, by loudly chanting Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hare Bol.
Actually, it's our great fortune. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu agreed to come and this Yagna course in our Govardhan Eco Village. We are very, very grateful to Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu and his team. And actually, Prabhuji coming all the way, his heart is always in Mayapur, but still for all of us, he's agreed and he ready to come. And really, we are indebted to Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu. Prabhu, please take us through this Yagya course and please enlighten us and give us knowledge and wisdom. You have, personally trained by many, many stalwarts, devotees in ISKCON. Actually, you are like a gem of ISKCON and we are grateful to you and we are very, very thankful to you. Please, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Shivananda Shyam, Prabhu, very happy to see your brilliant face for a long time.
Hare Krishna.
I'm also very happy to see there have been about 17 devotees participating in this class. I'm sorry I was half an hour late because we had Shishi Radha Madhava's Radhashtami Adhivas ceremony. So please forgive me. And that's Seva. Also very excited to see you all very soon. In about a week time.
Yes.
Halada Prabhu, should we continue or how should we do it?
Yeah, so I just introduce the introduction given by Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami, that this is for upholding the Bhagavad principles. And then I read the note of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, what he mentions about the history of it, how the Satkriya Saradipika and how it was republished.
Yes.
That's it. And then we started with Prabhupada's mentioning about what is the importance of deity worship. That's, you can start.
So we'd like to welcome all of you to take up this extremely responsible task Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains that when Haribhakti Vilas was written for about 50 years, that was the main book among the Vaishnavas, Marthas, Shaktas, everybody in the entire Gauda Desh. And unfortunately, after about 50, 60 years or so, some smarters, they came and they started propagating their own philosophy. And because of that, and very importantly, due to the lack of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Grihasthas performing these services, then Satkriya Deepika and Haribhakti Vilas, both of it lost its importance. And it took all the way up to Bhaktivinoda Thakur that he actually found these Shastras, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur printed them. And it's still not very prominent anywhere. Even in ISKCON, we don't hear much about these Shastras. And if we hear them, we have not seen them. But yagyas and other principles are happening very widely all over ISKCON. So it has become our responsibility to take it up as the Gaudiya Vaishnava Paddhati, follow it very nicely, and bring it back to its original glory. And since this is a very, very, how to say, almost lost parampara, then it's going to be very difficult to bring it back. And it falls as the responsibility of all the pipes. One, when the TOVP temple opens for about 3 months, we are going to be performing 108 yagyas every day. So when we are doing that, then we certainly need a lot of purohits to spend some time here. All of you who are participating in this yagya and who pass through the yagya course will be invited for being the purohit for Shri Radha Madhava, Shri Panchatattva, Shri Narasimhadev, according to the time limits you have. It could be a day, week, month, 3 months. And based on that, then we'll be able to do this service. So that's the first and foremost reason why we started the course. But there is also a second point, which is our ISKCON movement, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is increasing very fast. And most of the devotees in the movement are grihasthas. Grihasthas need to perform samskaras. Samskaras are purificatory process. So how to perform these samskaras? When somebody is getting married, how to get married? Somebody is having a child. What are the purificatory processes to be followed to purify the child? Somebody buys a new house. What to do in that kind of situation? So our acharyas have already given the formula to us. Now it's up to us to start doing these ceremonies. So like this, then we will be able to expand on also the Purohit sevas. As Haladhar Nitya Prabhu was just reading through the quotes from Srila Prabhupada and the Sandarbhas, how important it is that together with the Bhagavad Vidhi, Panchratra Vidhi has to follow. And because of that, then we are having this particular seminar going on. And we hope all of you will be able to take the best benefit of this ceremony, of this seminar. Haldar Prabhu, we can continue with the yes. So anybody has any questions up to now, what we have discussed? please, if you can, if there is any, raise your hand. Also, the way how we will be conducting the core class is, what I prefer is whenever
Prabhu, can I ask a question?
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, your signal is not good.
Oh,
Okay. I think there's one more login, Casey does. The bottom I can see.
yeah.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, we are losing you once in a while. Maybe your network issue.
Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji. I have a question, Prabhu.
Shilpa
Yes, Prabhu. This is Sachipram Chaitanya, Prabhu. I am the one to pester you from KKD for books, and I got the books. You
Okay.
remember. Prabhuji, we have Shodasha Samskaras, 16, and Satkriya Saradipaka only talks about 10. So what is the gap, and how can we answer that? That is one. And second, there are so many other intermediary samskaras which people are very much used to, especially in South India, like girl attaining age, or the Srimantopanana we have in the book, but one or two samskaras which are Punya Vachanam, for example, only just purifying the preliminary purificatory process. So these things, do we have something from our course curriculum?
Okay. So Satkriya Saradipika, who has actually
The Prabhuji can.
Chaitanya Mishai, Hare Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, you can switch off your video.
Video.
That would help.
You can switch off the video, Prabhu. That way.
You are muted, Prabhu. You are muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So there is also certain these are the main samskaras. But then you also have the Karana Veda, piercing of the ears. It's given at the back of the book. It's there in Satkriya. There is also Antyeshti has been not involved in this because Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami explains these are all auspicious ceremonies. So that has kept into one book. Antyeshti is not considered as an auspicious ceremony. So therefore, it has not been involved in this particular book. Now, you asked about Punya Vachana as a samskara coming in South India. I'm not sure if all 4 states have it. I think Andhra Pradesh, they follow the Punya Vachana, and that is the same as Namakarana. From what I have recently, there was one devotee who asked for this, and it seems that it's the same as Namakarana. Maybe just the change of, difference of the name. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Shachipran Prabhu? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
Prabhu, please keep this unmute because we are only few and we can mute when we don't speak, but don't close the mute, mic option, please. Yes, Prabhu. Actually, Punya Vajanam is not just for Namakanam, Prabhu. This is what I realized. It's a preliminary program to purify, especially when somebody is for any program like Guru Pravesha. They do for if anybody is died in the home and if they have to relight the lamp, they do Punya Vajanam. They start with Punya Vajanam. So that is the first thing. And second thing, I asked about girl attending age. This heavily they are doing, and all South Indians almost in whether it's Tamil Nadu or Andhra Pradesh or Karnataka, very very popularly known. And in our yatra, a lot of demand is there. So many girl children are there and things like that. But if there is any program which we can do, because this is a complete Smarta Vidhi is there. But we want to find answers from our Vaishnava Gaudiya Paddhati. So that is one. One more question I had. This Antyeshti and the regular, there are three types of samskaras. So one is completely for the pleasure of the Lord, like installing the deities or inviting the deities, or Abhishek, or these are very pure services for the Supreme Lord. That is one. Second is to remove the karma or purifying the grihasthas, second category. And third category is related to Shraddha and Antyeshti and Karmas. So Vaishnavas are they Brahmanical initiated? Are they eligible to do all these three? What is our philosophy behind doing Antyeshti and Shraddha? Is it okay to perform, or how do we understand the karma philosophy? There are some questions I have. This is, I know, little far advanced, but because I am from KK, I cannot attend the offline course, but I want to take full advantage of this seminar, Prabhuji. So at least I want to be part of the online sessions to understand the entire system, because I've given a service of head of the department of Samskara. So I need to guide a lot of people, and definitely I need to know first. Otherwise, I'll guide them wrong. So I don't want to do that. Please help me, Prabhu. Humbly requesting.
What we have been doing, Prabhuji,
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, your signal is very weak. I think better you switch off the video and then just speak. Yes.
Okay. So then how to say? Yes. So the Brahmin initiated devotees do have the adhikar for performing all the three stages of the samskaras. What we are focusing right now is just the yagya aspect. When you learn the yagya aspect, then automatically you will learn deity installation and you will learn how to perform the samskaras, because the vidhi remains the same. The difference is of the mantras, which you would have to learn by yourself for at the moment, because we will not be covering the samskara mantras or the deity installation mantras in the course. In relation to Antyeshti, we will share the document of the Antyeshti, so you can go through it, and you can perform Antyeshti according to the Gaudiya Vaishnava Paddhati. So we will share that document with you. Jipram Prabhu, is that okay? Did I lose connection again?
Yeah. So again, I'm requesting, please don't, because we have to constantly speak. So keep it unmute. Yeah, thank you very much, Prabhu. That is very appreciative, this answer, that we can perform everything. And you said you will share the document of Antyeshti. And Prabhu, just before you begin, one request, I can do it at the end also. But we have a huge demand in KKD, and I want to really plan one of you and as well as one of your, co-devotees who can come here for not for a month or 2 months like that, but a short session. If you can give, at least the Brahmana devotees can participate. If there is a chance, like how you are doing in GEV, we want to invite for KKD. So I just want to take this best opportunity to talk, because I know I cannot get you again. So
Sure, Prabhu.
please.
We can discuss with Haladar Nitai Prabhu, and we can organize some time.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, I think we could go finish this
Okay.
aspect of
So, am I starting from the beginning? Oh,
last one. In other words, the chanting of Hare Krishna.
so in other words, the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is so powerful that it does not depend on official initiation. But if one is initiated and engages in Pancharatra Vidhi, deity worship, his Krishna consciousness will awaken very soon, and his identification with the material world will be vanquished. The more one is freed from the material identification, the more one can realize that the spiritual soul is qualitatively as good as the super soul. At such a time, when one is situated on the absolute platform, one can understand that the holy name of the Lord and the Lord Himself are identical. And so there is also Rupa Goswami explains in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. He says, one who is attached to his family members, to the material possessions, one should not go to Vrindavan. If you do happen to go to Vrindavan, make sure you don't go to Keshi Ghat. If you do happen to visit Keshi Ghat, you will see there is one black boy playing on the flute. You close your ears and you run away. But if you don't do that, and if the sound of the flute enters your ears, then you will become like a madman, just like I am. So if you want to develop attachment to Krishna and want to deepen your faith in him, naturally the attachment towards the material world has to diminish. And in order to do that, deity worship is a quick way. The holy name, trying to understand the holy name and the Lord are identical, sometimes becomes very, very difficult. And because this is a sound, it has no form. It's easier to meditate on the form. And you can see the Krishna's beautiful eyes, his nose, his lips, his ears, his graceful neck, his arms, his feet, the peacock feather on his crown, all this, and then you can relate. Oh, he looks similar to me, so I can relate to him. Now, what does he like? Oh, maybe he wakes up in the morning and then he's hungry, so I want to feed him, and who likes that people perform aarti to him. Then I want to dress him, I want to bathe him, I want to decorate him, I want to do different activities with him in order to please him. So then I start becoming more and more and more Krishna conscious, because I can see him. Then when the relationship develops, your attachment to the deities increase. Sometimes you see they smile at you. Say, oh, today he's looking so beautiful. Look, he's smiling. Sometimes you see they are not smiling. Like, oh, what did I do wrong? Why is he not smiling? Did I do something? And then you start developing this relationship with the deities more and more intensely. So therefore, it's considered that worshipping deities in different ways is an easier method to understand that the holy name of the Lord and the Lord are identical. Therefore, the Pancharatra Vidhi is as important as the Bhagavad Gita. The process of archan is especially important for grihasthas. Srila Prabhupada, in his purport to Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 5th chapter, shloka 23 and 24, also stresses that the process of archana is highly recommended, especially for grihasthas. And there is a beautiful picture of Srila Prabhupada performing his first Rath Yatra. And he's a small child. Where did he learn it? He learned it from his father, his mother. Them performing deity worship, then he gets inspired and he wants to do it. So that's how you start training the next generation. There are many books for Archana, especially Narada Pancharatra. In this age, the Pancharatra system is particularly recommended for Archana, deity worship. There are two systems of Archana, the Bhagavad system and Pancharatrika system. It is therefore recommended that initiated devotees follow the principle of Narada Pancharatra by worshipping the deity in the temple, especially for householder devotees who are opulent in material possessions. The path of deity worship is strongly recommended. An opulent householder devotee who does not engage his hard-earned money in the service of the Lord is called a miser. One should not engage paid Brahmins to worship the deity. If one does not personally worship the deity but engages paid servants instead, he is considered lazy, and his worship to the deity is called artificial. This is like, unfortunately, nowadays, especially in the cities, where both the parents are working, they place the child under the care of a babysitter. Now, what babysitter is doing whole day? If you're lucky, she's good. Otherwise, she's just doing enough things that you don't kick her out. It's not her child. Somebody else's. So why she has to put more endeavor behind the child? Especially giving the right samskaras, the right education. They don't care. And parents, they show their not enough care for the child by just constantly engaging in outside work and not taking care of the child fully. If the child is born, it's the responsibility of the parents to 100% take care of them. Right? One of the two has to take care of the child. Otherwise, the child does not continue or does not get the cultural aspect from the family. He loses it, and then the cultural dynasty gets destroyed. Similarly, if one just gets paid Brahmins to worship the deity, it's exactly the same thing. It just shows that there is lack of devotion towards the Lord. This is something that I need to get it done. So I get a paid Brahmin, I pay him money, he will take care. I don't have to do it. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada calls these people as lazy and the worship to be artificial. You have to personally get involved in deity worship, because the reason we are in ISKCON is to go back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime. We are not in ISKCON to do other things. Please Krishna, please our spiritual master, and at the end of this life, go back to Godhead. Or in a place where we can directly serve Krishna. That's the reason we have joined. Therefore, deity worship should be done by oneself personally. Any questions in this regard? No. So we can move ahead. An opulent householder can collect luxurious paraphernalia for deity worship, and consequently, for householder devotees, the worship of the deity is compulsory. It's not an option. It's compulsory. In our Krishna consciousness movement, there are brahmacharis, grihasthas, vanaprasthas, and sannyasis. But the deity worship in the temple should be performed especially by the householders. The brahmacharis can go with the sannyasis to preach, and the vanaprasthas should prepare themselves for the next status of renounced life, sannyas. Grihastha devotees, however, are generally engaged in material activities, and therefore, if they do not take to deity worship, their falling down is positively assured. Deity worship means following the rules and regulations precisely. That will keep one steady in devotional service. Because we are in a very dangerous position. Yeah? For a sannyasi, he has already experienced all this, or he doesn't need to experience all this. Therefore, he has dedicated his life in preaching about Krishna consciousness. Brahmacharis, they generally don't have too much attachment to the material. Therefore, they should go out and preach. Grihasthas, people do become grihasthas, not so that it will help them in Krishna consciousness. They become grihasthas because they have material attachment. Now, as a grihastha, we have an opportunity to dovetail our desires unto the service of the Lord. Therefore, deity worship should be done, which helps to dovetail it easily. Srila Prabhupada says we have opulence, grihasthas have opulence. Whatever opulence is there, first dedicated to the Krishna. Then we move ahead. The center of the Agrihastha ashram is Krishna. When we have that, everything works very well. And if we don't have that, then Srila Prabhupada says falling down is positively assured. Any questions on this? No. Okay. Deity worship should be continued along with hearing and chanting. Therefore, every mantra is preceded by the word Namaha. In all the mantras, there are specific potencies of which the Grihastha's devotees must take advantage. There are many mantras preceded by the word Namaha. But if one chants the holy name of the Lord, he receives the result of chanting Namaha many times. By chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can reach the platform of love of Godhead. One might ask, then what is the necessity of being initiated? The answer is that even though the chanting of the holy name is sufficient to enable one to progress in spiritual life to the standard of love of Godhead, one is nonetheless susceptible to contamination because of possessing a material body. Consequently, special stress is given to the Archana Vidhi. One should therefore regularly take advantage of both Bhagavat process and the Pancharatriki process. This is very, very clear why we need to be initiated. We have somebody to tell us, what you're doing should be done in a different way. You will get better results. Okay.
Anybody has any queries can ask in between, so that before we go to the next topic, it will be clear. Okay, Prabhu.
Vidhi Marg and Raga Marg. Srila Prabhupada mentions the importance of Vidhi Marg in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24, text 45 and 46. Generally, the worship of the Lord begins with the worship of Narayana or Vishnu, whereas the worship of Lord Krishna and Radha is most confidential. Lord Narayana is worshipable by the Pancharatrika Vidhi or regulative principles, whereas Lord Krishna is worshipable by the Bhagavat Vidhi. No one can worship the Lord in the Bhagavat Vidhi without going through the regulations of Pancharatrika Vidhi. Actually, neophyte devotees worship the Lord according to the Pancharatrika Vidhi or the regulative principles enjoined in the Narada Pancharatrika. Radha Krishna cannot be approached by the neophyte devotees. Therefore, temple worship according to regulative principles is offered to Lakshmi Narayana. The relationship between Radha and Krishna is very confusing many times, because it is easy to understand, okay, they have a relationship, they are husband and wife. The community, the society accepts. But relationship of Radha and Krishna is not of husband and wife. Their relationship is outside the marriage, which in the material world is considered abominable, something which is sinful. One should not have it. But Radha and Krishna are having this relationship. So us as neophyte devotees cannot understand the pure love between Radha and Krishna. Therefore, we should not get involved in it. Rather, Srila Prabhupada says, even if we have Radha Krishna deities in our temple, they should be worshipped in the mood of Lakshmi Narayana. Therefore, we offer them shoes. Radha Krishna in Braj, he said, oh Maya, if you want me to wear shoes, then give shoes to all the cows. Give umbrellas to all the cows. No, Lala, I cannot. Cows don't need shoes, or they are not going to wear shoes. They are not going to have umbrellas. So Krishna said, "No, I'm not going to have. I'm Gopal. I'm Govind. I'm the servant of the cows. If cows are not having, I'm not going to." He does not wear, but because we worship him as Narayana, we have so much opulence. Worship him with awe and reverence. Therefore, padukas are offered in the temple. Okay, go to the next. Although there may be Radha Krishna Vigraha or form, the worship of the neophyte devotees is acceptable as Lakshmi Narayana worship. Worship according to the Pancharatrika Vidhi is called Vidhi Marg, and the worship according to the Bhagavad principle is called Ragamarg. The principles of Ragamarg are especially meant for devotees who are elevated with the Vrindavana platform. There is this very interesting pastime of Srila Sanatana Goswami, when he goes to receive the deity of Madan Gopal in Mathura, in this Brahman's house, and he sees this lady who is boiling the milk, which is to be offered to the Lord, and the milk starts boiling over, and she was brushing her teeth with a neem twig, and the milk is about to boil over. She immediately takes it out of her mouth, steers it inside the in the milk. Oh, saved the milk. And Sanatana Goswami says, "What a stupid lady! This milk is supposed to be offered as a bhoga, but now you just pulled it out, a moochi stick it inside the milk. How are you going to offer?" Madan Gopal says, "Hey, Prabhu, she is my mother. She can do whatever she wants. When you take me with you, then you can worship me with your Pancharatrika Vidhi. But here in this house, she is my mother. She can do whatever she wants. Unless and until we are not on that platform, we are not going to do the Ragamarg. Because she has a very, very elevated mindset. Oh, this is the milk for my Lala, for Madan Gopal. If this boy is over, what is he going to drink? She's not thinking, oh, Suchi, oh, Muchi, oh, this, oh, that. No. This is for my Lala. The amount of devotion that she has is so great. Unless and until we come to that platform, we do not imitate. Without serving Krishna according to Vidhi Marg, regulative principles of the Pancharatrika Vidhi, unscrupulous person want to jump immediately to the Ragamarga principles. Such persons are called Sahajiya. There are also demons who enjoy depicting Krishna and his pastime with the gopis. Taking advantage of Krishna by their Vaishnavious character, these demons who print books and write lyrics on the Ragamarga principles are surely on the way to hell. Unfortunately, they lead others down with them. Devotees in Krishna consciousness should be very careful to avoid such demons. One should strictly follow the Vidhi Marga regulative principles in the worship of Lakshmi Narayana. Although the Lord is present in the temple as Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna includes Lakshmi Narayana. Therefore, when one worships the Lord according to the regulative principles, the Lord accepts the service in the role of Lakshmi Narayana. In the nectar of devotion, Full instructions are given about the Vidhi Marg, worship of Radha Krishna or Lakshmi Narayan. Although there are 64 kinds of offenses one can commit in the Vidhi Marg worship, in Raga Marg worship, there is no consideration of such offenses because the devotees on the platform are very much elevated and there is no question of offense. But if we do not follow the regulative principles on the Vidhi Marg platform and keep our eyes trained to spot offenses, we will not hit them. So this is like also, there's another example which can be given, is you have a day schedule. Okay, at 3 o'clock, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to take bath, I'm going to go for Mangala Arati, I'm going to chant my 16 rounds, I'm going to sit there for Bhagavatam class, I have my other services, other duties during the day, I come back in the evening, I take bath again, I worship the deities, offer them bhoga, etc., etc., etc. I have a schedule. Now, for this schedule to set in, I have to strictly follow the schedule. Right? If I don't follow the schedule, then I will lose it. But if I strictly follow the schedule continuously, doesn't matter how I feel about it, eventually I'll come to the platform where the schedule is my lifestyle. Then I don't have to push myself that I need to do this. No, it just naturally happens. That is Vidhi. When it starts happening naturally, that is Raga. When you have to force yourself to wake up for Mangala Arati, that's Vidhi. Okay, I have to do it because Guru Maharaj said, or no Mangala temple has a rule, no Mangala Arati, no Prasadam. So all those, because of all these reasons, I force myself to go for Mangala. Since if I do it for X amount of time, it becomes natural. Now I like going for Mangala. Previously, I was cooking all the things that I liked and I offered it to Krishna. Now I start trying to identify what are the things that Krishna likes to eat. And I make that as part of my cuisine. So that becomes Krishna conscious. So therefore, unless and until, Vidhi Marg does not become natural, we cannot enter Rag. Because Rag is just natural form of the Vidhi Marg. Any questions in this part? The aspects of Radha Krishna and Lakshmi Narayana? No? The significance of worship through sacrificial fire. The worship of the Lord through sacrificial fire is an essential part of devotional worship as mentioned below. I have, under strict disciplinary vows, unpretentiously worshipped the Vedas, the spiritual master, and the altar of sacrifice. I have also abided by the rulings and have shown the import of the disciplined succession through the explanation of the Mahabharata, by which even women, Shudras, and others, friends of the twice born, can see the path of religion. Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 4th Chapter, text 28. That is spoken by Vyasadeva. No one can understand the import of the Vedas without having undergone a strict disciplinary vow and disciplined succession. The Vedas, spiritual master, and sacrificial fire must be worshipped by the desiring candidate. All these intricacies of Vedic knowledge are systematically presented in the Mahabharata for the understanding of women class, the laborer class, and the unqualified members of Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya families. In this age, Mahabharata is more essential than the original Vedas. This is the purport to about shloka. So this initiation means by the mercy of Krishna through his agent, the spiritual master, you are getting the seed of Bhakti Lata. So you have to take care of yourself by the instructions. Not that now I have got a spiritual master and I have got the initiation. My business is finished. Let me do all nonsense. No, this initiation process, we take promise from you that no illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication before the fire. The fire ceremony means fire is also a representation of Yagya Purusha. And through fire, the Yagya Purusha eats, Purushottama. So there is fire, there is spiritual master, there is Shastra, there is Krishna. Before, they are all witness. Just like before the High Court judge, you promise, yes, I will speak. Whatever I speak in this court, it is all truth. So this promise the judge knows, and he gives his judgment on that. Similarly, these promises must be kept. Otherwise, it will be useless. Srila Prabhupada's lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16, Text 35 in Honolulu, January 28, 1974. So this is the importance of why Yajna. We are going to go through quite a few of these because many times devotees, they feel that fire sacrifice is karmakanda, got nothing to do with our devotional service. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada, so we are seeing from Prabhupada, he says there is fire. Fire means he's representing Yagya Purusha. Who is Yagya Purusha? He is Lord Purushottam himself. So he's in front of the fire, in front of the deities, in front of the spiritual master, in front of Shastra, in front of Krishna, we are taking a vow. That becomes law that we have to follow. That is the importance of the fire sacrifice. Performing fire sacrifice increases Brahmanical potency. We have seen this. We experience this in our life. Yajna means Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and sacrifice means working for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 19, Text 7. In his article to Back to Godhead, Volume 3, Part 6 on May 20, 1956, Srila Prabhupada explains the importance and the benefit of performing fire sacrifice for the increase of Brahmanical potency. Pure ghee, clarified butter, offered on the fire of Yagya produces more ghee. But non-acceptance of such sacrificial rites under the plea of non-productive economy drives away completely the production of ghee. Yielding place to the harmful hydrogenated vegetable oils. And the Ayurvedic script, oil is particularly mentioned. Sorry. In the Ayurvedic scriptures, oil is particularly mentioned to be harmful for the stomach. But in the absence of the sacrificial energy of the human being, he is forced to accept harmful vegetable oil for the stomach in the name and absence of the pure, unadulterated, clarified butter. That is the importance of the process of Yagya, and that is the law of nature. So the Srila Prabhupada is saying, you are not performing Yagya, therefore there is no ghee available, because for Yagya, you need pure ghee. And if you continue to perform Yagya, then there will be a production of ghee. Srila Prabhupada also, one time he mentioned, he said, oil is for outside the body, for massage and things like that. Ghee is for inside the body. Whatever should be cooked for the Lord is cooked in ghee. The Yagyas are performed ghee, because that's what Krishna is eating. And then when we accept Krishna's Mahaprasad, we also eat ghee, because ghee is very good for your health. So if you perform Yagyas, there will be ghee available, and you can eat ghee and remain healthy. Foolish people think vitamin value of foodstuff in their own way and push into the stomach all sorts of rubbish things, thinking that Vaishvanara, he, representative of the Supreme Lord, will accept any such rubbish things for assimilation. The case is different. The Vaishvanara representative power of Godhead in the stomach of the human being can accept only leaves, flower, fruits of the vegetable group, pure water and milk for quite vitaminizing the human energy. The mouth being the entrance door to the region of the stomach, it must guard the tongue of every human being to acquire the quality of a Brahmana, one who accepts only foodstuff of sattvic quality. The description of sattvic quality foodstuff is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, and that also of the Brahmana, in fact. The other function of the Brahmana mouth is to articulate Vedic sound conducive for the welfare of the people in general. The world is now fully surcharged with the air of non-spiritual sound in the shape of different varieties of indecent literatures and common country news. Right? So we need to be Krishna conscious. Right? Our tongue, and Rupa Goswami explains in the first verse of Nectar of Instruction, it's very, very important to control the tongue. Vacho Vegam. There is also Udara Vegam. If your tongue is controlled, your stomach will be controlled, the productive system will be controlled. If your tongue is not controlled, then it goes, and everything else goes out of control. Therefore, one must constantly engage the tongue in either taking prasadam or speaking about Krishna. Then the sensory organ of the tongue is fully in the service of the Lord, and we will be safe. Otherwise, falling down is highly possible. Any questions till now? No? Significance of samskaras. Srila Prabhupada repeatedly emphasized the importance of samskaras in the life of devotees in his lectures and purports. A few of them are presented below. As a householder, Prithu Maharaj had 5 sons by his wife Archi, and all of these sons were begotten as he desired them. This is a very important statement. They were not born whimsically or by accident. How one can beget children according to one's own desire is practically unknown in the present age, Kali Yuga. In this regard, the secret of success depends on the parents' acceptance of the various purificatory method known as the samskaras. The first samskara, the Govardhan samskara, or child begetting samskara, it's compulsory, especially for the higher castes, the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, sex life, which is not against religious principle, is Krishna himself. And according to religious principles, when one wants to beget a child, he must perform the Garbhadhana samskara before having sex. So the important part is Maharaj Prithu, he had every child according to the way how he wanted. Srila Prabhupada also very clearly describes the parents who want to have a child must chant 50 rounds each. That will purify their consciousness. And when the consciousness is pure, it will attract the jiva of that kind of purity. When that kind of a pure child is born, Srila Prabhupada at one point he says, if the Garbhadhana samskara is done nicely, you don't have to be worried about the timing of the child's birth. It will happen in an auspicious moment. And for that, you have to perform the Garbhadhana samskara very nicely. And many times he also says that Garbhadhana is the most important samskara of all. Because it's the seed. That's where it all starts. Any questions? No.
Only nowadays,
Comments?
sorry to interrupt you. Nowadays, the doctors are asking especially the parents, for the delivery time. This is devotees and non-devotees both, and they consult, give us a good muhurta, for the birth time. How do we react to such queries? And just now we are picking up on these samskaras, especially the Garbhadhana samskara. A couple of devotees did it here, but now we are going to as yatra, we are going to emphasize more on the samskaras. However, if there is a question like that, can you define a good muhurta? What can we do in such case? What is the answer?
See, unfortunately, the child of a birth has become a business. Right? Mothers, the body of a woman is made in such a way that they can give birth to a child. The way how she is designed is to give birth to a new life. If you deal things properly, the child will be born without a problem. To artificially bring the child is inappropriate, according to Shastra. If there are some serious difficulties, then yes, there are methods that you can get the child out by the cesarean section, the C-section. But unfortunately, nowadays everybody goes for the C-section. Why? Because lack of Krishna consciousness, lack of knowledge, lack of faith. And Srila Prabhupada said, to perform proper Garbhadhana, the child will take birth at the right time. Sometimes, the doctors give you the delivery date. Okay, at this date it will happen. It can happen 1 or 2 weeks before, or it can happen 1 or 2 weeks later. But have faith that it will happen at the right time. The child will take birth at the right time. Artificially bringing them into this material world, it's not the recommended process. Does it answer your question, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. True, Prabhu. Totally true. Thank you.
Continuing to read.
This is the last.
Mental state. Someone said something?
No, I just said this is the last slide, Nisha.
Okay. The mental state of the father and mother before sex will certainly affect the mentality of the child to be begotten. A child who is begotten out of lust may not turn out as the parents desire. As stated in the Shastras, Yatha Yonir Yatha Bijam. Yatha Yonihi indicates the mother, and Yatha Bijam indicates the father. If the mental state of the parents is prepared before they have sex, the child which they will beget will certainly reflect their mental condition. It is therefore understood by the words Atma Sammatan that both Prithu Maharaj and Archi underwent the Garbhadana purification process before begetting children, and thus they begot all their sons according to the desires in purified mental states. Prithu Maharaj did not begot his child out of lust, nor was he attracted to his wife for sense gratificatory purposes. He begot the child as a Grihastha for the future administration of his government all over the world. Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 22nd chapter, purport, 53rd shloka purport. Krishna says, that dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshapha in Bhagavad Gita 7.11. Who is following strictly the regulative principles, even in sex life, he can see Krishna, which is considered abominable. But even in sex life, if you are following the rules and regulations, you can see Krishna. Therefore, when such sons are begotten, they become devotees of Krishna. Therefore, according to Hindu principles, there is Garbhadana Samskar, 10 kinds of samskars, reformatory measures. Garbhadana Samskara means when you are going to make your wife pregnant, there is samskara, there is ceremony, and especially in the Brahmin families. If there is no Garbhadana Samskara, he immediately becomes a Shudra. This is the Shastra. You must follow the samskara. Samskarat bhaved dvijaha. Janmana jayate shudraha. One who follows the samskara, then he becomes purified. This is called dharma viruddha, not dharma viruddha, not against the religious principles. Lecture on Bhagavad Gita 7.11 and 12 in Bombay, February 25, 1974. So, okay. There is also, one very interesting thing. If you go to the South Indian temples, you see on the Gopuram, you see these figures of men and women uniting. I've considered, why is this in the temple? There are two reasons for it. First one, those who are interested in material sense gratification, they will enjoy the scene outside the temple. So with their contaminated mind, they will not go inside the temple to see the. It stops them there. It becomes a natural barrier. Second, because this is done after the Garbhadhana samskara, this is a purificatory process, and Krishna says, it's him. Therefore, the thunderbolt of Indra will never hit these Gopuram, even though they are so high. It works as a natural earthing. Indra respects this act of union when it's done properly. Therefore, his thunderbolt will not hit the Gopuram. Ever heard that the Gopuram burst because a thunderbolt hit it? It doesn't happen because this particular reason. And that's why those figures are kept outside of the Gopuram. Continuing to read. Besides that, the higher castes, the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas especially, and the Vaishyas also, they must observe the Dashavidha Samskara, 10 kinds of reformatory methods. The first method is Garbhadhana Samskara. Before giving birth to a child, there is a ceremony which is called Garbhadhana Samskara. And it is stated in the Shastras that if the higher castes do not perform the Garbhadhana Samskara and beget children like cats and dogs, then it immediately comes to the position of Shudra. These are the Shastric injunctions. There are 20 kinds of Dharma Shastras, so they have to be followed.
Yeah, we are done, Mashan.
Okay.
With this session.
You can take couple of questions if there is any.
Yeah.
So you have rightly given the most confidential thing, because this question of having the gopurams and outside architectures, especially in Konark temple, we recently visited also. So a lot of these what you call intimate sculptures are there. So in fact, me and my wife were there, and she was little shy, and she was asking, "What is why this kind of symbolism, especially in places like this?" So I had no answer. So now you answered it. So these things generally won't come out, or we have no proper understanding. So thanks for
also, these are one of the 4 Purushartha. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha.
Kama, Moksha. Yeah.
So if you don't understand Kama, how will you get Moksha? You have to understand Kama in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
That is Dharma. If you don't understand Kama in Krishna consciousness, then it is Adharma. So where will you learn all these things? You learn all these things in the temple, because the temple has the Shastras.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the enlightening session. I think maybe some other devotees may have questions, but my question remains the same. Sorry, go ahead.
Prabhuji, kindly can you explain that Gopuram story, second part, that Indra's stories? Can you explain second, Prabhuji, second time?
Chaitanya?
No?
Yes.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I could not hear anything.
Prabhuji, that Gopuram story, second part, that Indra stories you have told. So can you explain second times, Prabhuji? We have not got properly. So can you explain?
The process of union between a husband and wife is considered a religious activity, because you are trying to bring a Krishna conscious child in the material world. So therefore, Krishna says when the union between husband and wife, the sex life happens in proper dharmic way, it's he himself. That's what Krishna said. That's what Srila Prabhupada is saying. There is Krishna.
Kamosmin Bharatarshaba, that was 7.11.
Hope this is clear, Prabhu.
Yes,
I think
Prabhuji.
I think you want to understand that Indra related pastime.
Yeah,
It's not
so
a pastime.
Indra,
Yeah, you can.
Indra, he respects that activity because it's a religious activity. And because he respects it, the thunderbolts will not hit the Gopuram where these activities are shown. And then, like that, you can have tall Gopurams without the fear of thunderbolts hitting. Pravin Krishna Prabhu, is that okay?
Is without fear of thunderbolt hittings.
Yes.
means when
What
it
does it
rains
mean, Prabhuji,
intensely,
exactly? I'm not
when it
getting.
rains intensely and all, then there is lightning. So sometimes the lightning hits tall buildings. Just like it hits on a tree, they hit
Your
also on
voice
the.
is not audible.
My voice is not audible, Prabhu.
No, I can hear you.
Clear, Prabhu, for me also. Your voice is clear. Maybe Prabhu's side only.
Yeah. So it's like when there is intense rain and all, then there is lightning. Then the thunderbolt hits, whether the trees or big buildings like that. So in Gopuram, then they don't hit because as this is one of the reasons because of being portrayed these pictures.
Okay. Thank you. Now it is clear. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
So we can end today's session over here.
Yeah.
Prabhu, question, Prabhu, for the people or devotees who cannot join physically. So, can we still participate in the online technical or the non what you call practical but just theoretical sessions? Is it possible? And can we take it at a later stage because we are ready to go for the whatever Lakshmi Seva is there? That is okay, but in future sometime can you have these records saved so that we can take it when that is possible, or how do you treat this session, Prabhu, for the enthusiastic?
Shivananda Shyam Prabhu can answer this question. Or Haldarni Prabhu can answer the question.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu. You wonderfully took us the first session, and there will be many more sessions we have to see and we have to hear, and we are eagerly waiting for the upcoming sessions. Yes, many people requested this, and we will do this audio recording, and whenever required, we will be uploading this online this theory parts, and other devotees also can be benefited. Okay, thank you so much,
That,
Prabhu. We'll stop
sorry,
this
Prabhu.
session.
That is for registered or non-registered people, you are saying?
Yeah. Once session is over, we will upload it in a particular forum, and from there everybody can access. Like that, we will do that. Okay.
Okay, then I will catch a hold of your feed, Prabhu.
Yes,
If
yes.
I don't get. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Tomorrow being Radhastami, we will not have session tomorrow. We will all meet day after tomorrow. Okay. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Srila
Hare
Prabhupada
Krishna.
ki jai. Nitai Gaura
Hare Krishna.
Premanande.
Hari Hari.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Account खोले वाली? से पहले